cerebral palsy is just how the agency got its start. We've kind of changed and adapted through the years, but we also subcontract with Tech Owl. So that's Pennsylvania's Technology Tech Act program. So we get state and federal funding to help promote their programs and run some of their programs. One of the programs we have is the free specialized phone program. So that's for ages 6 and above. It has house phones and mobile phones now. So iPads, iPhones, Galaxy, Samsung phones, a variety of cell phones, as well as large button phones, phones that talk back when you dial them, amplified phones. There's a whole variety of phones in there. There are income guidelines. It's 200% above poverty. So that makes it more reachable for people to qualify for the program. It also only takes the income of the person applying. So while you might have a household of 2 and your income level is higher, it only counts the income of the person applying.
And how much would that be?
I don't know without my chart, and I didn't bring my chart.
Just average. That includes Social Security.
Yes, it does include Social Security. However, I know my husband qualified, and because we're a family of 2, the guidelines for him were $34,000, and he doesn't make that much. Together, we would not have qualified, but just his income qualified.
Good.
And the information is on the Tech Owl website, techowlpa.org. And then if you click across for services for a person, you'll see free special phones. And it has all the information, all the pictures of the phones, all the eligibility requirements, the age. You have to have a doctor or somebody sign for proof of disability. But there's phones with picture buttons on it for people with cognitive issues. They can't remember phone numbers. There's all kinds of phones in there. Pre-COVID, we would do demonstrations of the phones and come out to people's homes with 5 or 6 different phones that, after we find out what you're looking for, so you can see them up close and in person. Now with COVID, that's a little more difficult. We have done Zoom meetings to show people the phones. It's not the same as having it plugged in and trying it out to see if you can hear on it, but we do our best to keep everybody safe.
And also you do cell phones, right?
We do cell phones now, yes. At the moment, there's a hold on purchasing the cell phones until they get more funding, but I'm hoping that comes through pretty quick.
Is that like a track phone?
No, they're regular, like there's an iPhone in there, there's a Samsung Galaxy phone in there, an iPad, a Galaxy tablet, a phone called a blind shell, which is set up specifically for, it's a much more basic phone, but it also has features for people with vision issues. And there's a Galaxy Pixel phone, which is set up well for people with hearing. So you can get the text coming through on the phone calls. So those are the mobile ones.
What about the plan?
The plan would be whatever. The plan doesn't come with the phone. It's only the phone. So you have to have proof of phone service or proof of cell phone service. So if you have Verizon, then you send a copy of your current Verizon bill to prove that you have that.
Okay. That's good.
If you have Xfinity for your landline phone, you send a copy of your phone bill.
Right.
You need proof of phone service, proof of disability, which is the doctor signing that paper, proof of income. So if you have a Social Security award letter, usually that will do. And the application, and then pick a phone. They do one phone every 3 years, and they will not take it back if you pick wrong. You'll be stuck for 3 years. So we really encourage people to think about it, to contact somebody if you have questions or if you want to see it like on a Zoom meeting. I did one yesterday because they wanted to know how big it was. I'm like, my hands are small. This is my iPhone. This is this blind shell, how big it is. So that you can at least get a better idea of if it's going to work for you or not.
Sounds good. So with Parkinson's, it'll be mainly the adaptable house phone.
And some of them are speaker phones, so if you have a problem holding the handset, you can just press the speakerphone button.
Right.
One of them has scanning, you can pre-program numbers and it'll scan through, and then you hit the button when it's ready and it'll dial, and it's an automatic speakerphone. So there's a bunch of different things.
So Owl, that's your company, or you work with that company?
We work with them, we subcontract with them.
Okay,
But one of the things we do is to help with this program, to get the word out, to help people with the applications, let them know about the phones, to see the phones, those kinds of things.
okay.
That's
And I guess
good.
they have to register when they go into that for the library, for the lending library.
Well, the lending library is a little different, yes. So on that techlpa.org website, there's across the top, there's a spot that says borrow. That takes you to the website for the lending library. And
Right,
when you click on go to the new library, you will have to register with a username and password.
right,
Just like Amazon, you'll have to have an email account. Because that's how we're getting all the information, and then that's how we're contacting people.
right,
The lending library allows loans up to 4 weeks, possible extensions depending on what it is and if we have people waiting for it. They do have the house phones that are in the free phone program are in the lending library. There are no cell phones in there because of course you have to have the cell phone plan. But there are things like speech devices. There's dressing aids, I believe are still in. I'm not sure if the reachers are in there or not. There's computers with software in there. There are iPads to borrow and Chromebooks, and you can also borrow a Wi-Fi hotspot with them if you don't have Wi-Fi. So for somebody who wants to see how it's going to work and if you're going to like it, you can borrow it and see how it goes. You can request specific apps. On the main page, there's a place that says list of apps available, and you can click in there and find out what apps are available. You can download DoorDash and some of those others for delivery services. I know people have asked for the Kindle app. Facebook's a big app. Zoom, of course, is a big app right now. And then we've also had people ask for specific speech apps so that the device can speak for them.
Can you tell me the name of the website again?
techowlpa.org. TECHOWL. Do you want me to put it in the chat?
Yeah. that'd be
yeah, that
good.
would help.
Where's my little chat? Here it is. techowlpa.org. Website for free, can't spell, free special phones and lending library. Does that help?
So everybody see the chat? It's
Yeah.
on the bottom.
You.
It's at the
Yeah.
bottom of the page. So after the 3 weeks or 4 weeks of borrowing it, is there any discounted plans to pay for it?
Well, because it's a lending library, we don't sell anything. So it's just like borrowing a book from the library. It'll have to come back. We wipe it clean before we send it out, just to make sure there's nothing personal left on it by mistake. With the iPads too, they have a managed program, so they're managed by Temple. So you cannot log in with your Apple ID because it makes it real hard for us to clean them off then and give out to the next person. But we also have some information on possible funding sources. I know Pennsylvania Assistive Technology, they do low interest loans, and right now they have a pilot program with 0% interest up to $7,000 for assistive technology. And they consider iPads and tablets assistive technology.
Sounds good. So
I can put that in here too, their website.
So it's better than buying it and realizing you bought the wrong thing. That's one of the good things about it. Is that right?
PATF.us. There we go. I hit enter a return and it popped it right up there. Yeah, so they're a good way of, if you're looking for a loan, it is a bank loan and it does have to be paid back, but it's 0% interest,
Right.
which I would love on a bank loan.
It's better than those places, honey, that are a scam where you go get an instant loan.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah,
That's
you're
when
not
a lot of
paying
people are
8%.
getting in trouble.
Yeah, 0% interest is wonderful. So there is that, and then there might be some other possibilities, at least for partial grants.
Mhm.
I know there is a Ginny Del Sordo fund, but that they want to be payer of last resort. They pay up to $200 for things,
Mhm.
but that's $200 off of an iPad.
Right. So it's good for people that say like they don't want one because they don't know how to use it. They can.
Yes, it's a good way to decide if it is something you're gonna use. You might like it once you get it, or you may decide, no, I'm never gonna use it, don't. And then too, if you do like it, I know we've purchased things for my mother's, how old is she? She's almost 90. And we've purchased stuff for her. And she loves her. She's on her 4th Kindle.
Right.
But that's because we purchased them for her as each died.
Now, for people who want to do something like that with an iPad and stuff, just to try it out, do you offer any like classes to teach them? Is that what you're doing?
We have some online notes that we can put in, and I know they just put an app, they're putting an app on the iPads for beginners.
Okay.
We also can offer some assistance with learning how to use it as a resource center. Our issue with that is we come into problems getting into locations because of COVID. Yeah,
Okay.
so if they're in a facility that's not allowing visitors in, that's an issue. So I've done some stuff over the telephone, because if it's somebody new to an iPad, they're not gonna know how to use Zoom. But I have done some over the telephone, and I've sent some notes out to try to help people.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at your website now.
Ah, so you know, she's in the know.
So how many items are in that lending library?
How many iPads are in the lending library?
Yeah.
Couple hundred.
Oh,
Yeah, it's there's a lot of stuff on here.
that's great.
Yeah, there's like I said, the telephones, there's low vision aids, electronic magnifiers, there's assisted listening devices, there's speech devices, adapted computer keyboards, big letters on the keyboards, adapted computer mice. I should know everything in there, but those are the categories I can think. Oh, there's adapted Switch toys for kids. There's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I see you have a lot of questions and answers page there. That's really good.
And you get all this through the OWL site,
Yes,
even the phones.
the phones, yep.
Hmm.
Yep.
So if you have if you don't need to meet somebody, how do they get the item if they just want to pick it up?
It ships UPS.
Oh,
So what happens is they go on the website, they log in with their username and password, and then they request something that shows up in our email so that we can fill that. We send it UPS, and then you'll have it for 4 weeks, and we'll put the return shipping label in. Some people are able to and comfortable taking it to UPS store when they're done.
mhm.
If not, we will schedule UPS to come pick it up. But this is your state and federal dollars that work for you. So thank you all for paying your taxes.
Yeah. I see the age right here, like for somebody who's 6 years old and older. So does that mean like if, a 6-year-old one, well, it could be
That
like
would be,
an iPad?
that would be for the 6 years old and up is for a telephone.
Okay,
For the lending library, it's all ages.
okay.
And we have had really young children borrowing, especially the adapted toys, but also the speech devices.
Right. And the borrowing time is for how long?
4 weeks.
Okay. That's interesting.
And if you're on Social Security disability, you still need a note from the doctor?
You don't need a note from the doctor to borrow from the lending library. You would need the doctor to sign the application to get the free special phone,
Okay,
because that's a different program with a whole different paper application.
okay. And that you just give to the doctor? You download it and give it to the doctor?
Yep, that's what we did for my husband. We downloaded it, filled it all out, took it with us when he went for his visit, and they signed it. It can be your general physician, a physician's assistant. I forget who else is on that list, a speech therapist.
Mm.
And how about proving your income? How do you,
The income, that would be, if you get Social Security, then it would be your Social Security award letter that comes out in the spring,
mhm.
a copy of that. A copy of, for us, my husband's W-2s. I think we sent copies of his W-2s
Mhm.
because he had 2 different employers that year.
Good. So it sounds like a very good program.
It is, and the reason they're so careful is because it's because of how the legislation was written that supports the program, but also we don't want people getting free phones and selling them on Craigslist.
Right.
That's not good use of taxpayer money.
Right.
So the big thing here for Parkinson's people is the first thing you do is the program where you have walkers and
The
wheelchairs.
reuse program, yeah, I haven't talked about that one yet. So as part of Tech Owl, they want us to do equipment, they call it reuse, it's equipment recycling. So I'm based in Camp Hill, and our version of that, we call it changing hands, because our stuff's always, changing hands. And so equipment is brought in. And at this point, it sits in quarantine for 48 hours, and then we steam clean it, Clorox wipe it, make sure it's working in good working order. Then at this point, we're giving that out without charge. So we have walkers, regular walkers, walkers with the wheels in the front, walkers with seats when we can get them, manual wheelchairs, lightweight transport chairs. We take the sock aids, the long-handled shoe horns, lift recliner chairs. If we have room for them, we take them. They don't last very long once we get them in. And those are nice because, they help you stand up if you have any issues with back or any reason you can't get up very well.
You get a lot of donations, Jackie?
We have our area packed, and we have stuff on the van that can't come out until we get some room in our area to take it out of the van.
Okay, so you have a
We
lot
have
of,
quite a few things.
Okay.
Bath seats, tub transfer benches. It's different. Any given day it can be different.
okay.
Bedside commodes, those kinds of
Now,
things.
you wouldn't have a problem for me to be putting your website on the neighborhood app, right? We have a Nextdoor. There's
Next door,
which
next
is-
door is wonderful.
Yeah, that would give everybody within the neighborhood information about what you offer.
And let me give you the email for that. ATUCP@ucpcentralpa.org.
Okay.
There you go. That's a manned mailbox by the whole department, me and my part-time person. But we both man that, so whoever's available can answer those questions. Like right now, I'm out, Paul's manning the email. We will ask things like how much people weigh, because everything has a weight limit, and we don't want equipment to fail. We figured people coming to us have enough problems, we don't need to help them with more. So we're a little OCD about the weight limits and those types of things, just to be safe.
And how do you get this? You have to pick it up, or is it get delivered?
We can't deliver, right now we can't deliver because the van is dead and won't start. It died a very slow, painful death. So we have people schedule a time to come to Camp Hill to pick it up. Or depending on where they live, we might be able to meet them, you know, like in the Sheets parking lot. I've done that before.
Right.
We do it as contactless as possible. Either we email them the donation or the equipment release, and there's a little survey. That's all we ask you to do.
Right.
Or we'll take it with us and I'll have a brand new pen. I'll give them the pen, have them fill it out, and then say, keep the pen. Just like when I went to vote and they said, keep the pen after you sign in.
You could suggest that they go to the Nextdoor app, because there's people within the neighborhood who are offering to help elderly people just to go to the market for them.
Mhm.
So if they need something delivered or picked up, you
I-
can always tell them to go to Nextdoor app, and people in the neighborhood will help.
And it doesn't have to be the person picking up. I just want-
Right, which that's what I'm saying. They can go, there's so many, because I go into that app every day and there's people that put stuff down for information. If you need to go to the store, let me know. I'm volunteering and stuff like that.
And we've had, you know, family pick up, church members pick up. We had somebody from a local radio station was off work and came to pick up for somebody in his neighborhood.
Right,
So yeah, it does not have to be that.
okay,
And then we tell people, call us from the parking lot, we'll bring it out, pop the trunk, we'll pop it in there, just like going to get the groceries.
and they can be from Harrisburg and all the areas here?
They can be, our region that we cover for Tech Hour is 12 counties, but I've had people come from Pittsburgh and pick up things,
Okay,
as long as they can come and pick it up.
all righty. Good to know.
So if somebody is waiting for the items to come through Medicare, they can go to you and get the one as a loaner and then bring it back after they get their own. Is that true?
They can do that. Technically, we don't loan because there's a lot more liability type things involved. So we would give it to them, but when they're done with it, if they choose to give it back to us, that'd be wonderful. And we'll clean it up and just keep it going.
Mhm.
Pay it
Okay.
forward, as they say.
And I guess if you want something special, is it best to call every week, or is it best to leave your name on a waiting list?
We don't keep a waiting list. When we started this, we kept a waiting list and we did that for about a year. The issue is it might be 8 months to a year before we get it, and then people don't need it anymore. People passed away and families upset that we called them. So we just tell people, just keep checking in.
And it's by voice, right? Not by computer.
Either way, either send an email or call us on the phone. We'll do it either way.
Good.
Okay. Now, can they visit your place, or do they need to make an appointment to visit? To go
It's-
here?
Because of the COVID, we're not letting people
People
into
walk
the
in.
building, so it's best that they make an appointment just to make sure that somebody is here. We don't want people traveling to come see us and then find out we're not here.
Gotcha.
If they're gonna put that effort in, we want to be there for them.
Right. That makes sense.
Now, once COVID's over, could people go in there and browse around every once in a while?
It's gonna be,
It's kind of hard because we have more than one program in that space, so browsing is not really, we're not able to do browsing.
Okay.
What they can do, like we can email pictures, we can do FaceTime and show them things that they can see on their computer or on their phone. We have ways to get around that, but because we have other programs in there and we have people with offices in that space, like their desks are literally in where we have all our equipment. We can't really do, I just want to look around.
Right. That's nice.
but
Anybody have?
the phone, I'm sorry, honey. The phones are the free program, right? To qualify for a phone. It's a
Yes.
phone, but not the iPads or anything like that.
The others, you don't have to have any of those other qualifications. You just have to sign up, get a username and password, and you can borrow from the lending library. There's
Okay.
nothing that has anything to do with age or, excuse me, or income or any of that. And for our Changing Hands program, you just have to really have a need, and we might question you on is this appropriate for you, or do you need something else? We had somebody who was looking for a manual wheelchair, and the one we had, no, it's the power chair. The power chair we have is really wide. It's like 34 inches wide. It's not gonna fit in a 28-inch doorway.
Right.
You know, and then there's issues of how are you gonna get it? Do you have steps? Do you have somebody to help you with this? Can you get a ramp put in? Those kinds of things.
Right.
Excuse me, I'm talking too much. I don't usually do this in the afternoon.
Okay.
So it seems like the lending library is pretty simple. You know,
We hope so. You can always call and ask us for help too if you need it,
right.
or email.
Does anybody have any questions for Jackie?
Special education.
Anything? Dave?
Yeah, I'm checking out the website. Very interesting website.
Yeah. Dave, you have a question?
Short-term loan. No, I do. I have a question on the short-term loans. No interest, right? But you do have to pay it back. And what was the,
But you'd have to go to their website. That's not a program it's a program we know about, but it's not one that we're involved with as far as
Gotcha.
how it runs. But it
okay,
is a bank loan, so yes, it would have to be paid back. It's a loan, not a grant,
but not, no interest, you're saying?
but 0% interest.
Okay. I'm just thinking about people who are in trouble financially right now, that somebody, let's say somebody has Parkinson's and they work and they're out of work and their rent's backed up.
Well, see, now this would not pay rent. This is for specifically assistive technology. This is what
Okay,
they
so
do.
the bank, they're loaning them money for other stuff. You're saying.
Right, so if they need a ramp put in and there's none available in a free
Okay,
grant program or reuse program, they could apply for that, or a stair lift, a stair glide, or the lift recliner chairs. Or some people have borrowed for hearing aids. The copay on your hearing aids is ridiculous. You know, so they will pay copays too.
okay.
But those are the types of things.
Okay, so that's a separate program that they would have to look up.
Right, that's
the-
that patf.us website.
Okay, I got it. All right. Interesting.
And this organization's been around for over 50 years, right?
UCP has, yes, I
Yes.
think 1956 is when it started.
Hmm.
The TechAL used to be called PIAT. The Tech Act came into being in like 1991 or so, we're right around in there.
So it's a good organization, and a lot of people donate money, I assume.
And we appreciate that.
Yeah.
We do the best we can with what we're given.
Do you have any suggestions on what somebody with Parkinson's would benefit from that you've seen? Like whether a wheelchair or a walker or things like that?
I know I have seen, we had a special walker come through reuse, just only saw it once, but it was made specifically for somebody with Parkinson's.
With the laser beam on it?
I believe it did have that,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. That's a nice,
We only had once,
right. Yeah,
and we did find somebody who needed that had Parkinson's. It went out through a therapist, through a physical therapist.
yeah, that costs about $700 to buy.
Yeah, it's amazing how much some of this costs. You would never think of it until you're actually
Looking for it.
tracking it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they even have canes with lasers, honey, but
Yeah, they
I
do.
never see them.
They
I
do.
never see them.
And shoes too.
Sometimes we get weighted utensils in our reuse program.
Hmm.
So that helps with tremors a little bit.
Hmm.
The weight of it helps to
Right.
stabilize them.
I've seen that.
One of the things in the statewide lending library is the liftware level spoon. Are you guys familiar with that?
No.
So if you're shaking, it's supposed to stay level so your stuff doesn't spill out of the spoon.
Mhm.
Right now, there's a waiting list for it. It's very popular.
Oh, wow.
I think Gil had that silverware. Don't you, Gil?
Yeah, he's gonna answer.
Yes, I have a passive weighted spoon. It's not active. It's not like these dynamic devices with hinges and smart firmware in there to compensate for the vibration. It's just a weighted spoon. And I frankly, I think it's a good training aid, like a barbell for strengthening your arms, your hands and wrists.
Heavy.
But I don't, in other words, I can live without it, but I'm trying to adapt to it. So that's the status on that, Warren.
It's like
But-
when you're eating ice cream, Gil. When you're eating ice cream.
You know, it's got an advantage. The tremor has an advantage, like when you're trying to spread sugar on cereal and that kind of.
Right.
Well, we have, Laura and I have a question unrelated, Jackie, to what Warren just brought out, and that is, we are interested in a chairlift. Do you ever get any abandoned equipment or donated equipment?
So are you talking about the ones that go up the stairway?
Yeah, up and down, up and down.
Yeah, we don't take them in our program for a few reasons. The first is they take a lot of space and we don't have a lot of space. And then when people get them, they're gonna have to figure out who's going to install it. Somebody's gonna have to pay for that.
Sure.
That can be an issue. Are you guys local to Camp Hill, Mechanicsburg?
Yes, our mailing address is Mechanicsburg.
You might want to check, I don't know if Office of Aging might have one, or, you know, or know somebody that has one they want to get rid of or not, but Office of Aging might know of somebody.
Very good
When
point.
when we get calls for them, we suggest they contact the Habitat Restore in Harrisburg to see if they'll take it as a donation.
Jackie,
but
say that again, please, the store in
The
Harrisburg.
Habitat Restore in Harrisburg,
Okay.
I don't know their
Habitat-
number. I know I've been there. It's across from, oh gosh, that
Habitat.
restaurant that looks like a Western type restaurant. and I can't even think of
Oh,
the name. of
honey,
it.
is that place I tell you I want to go where they have old Restore place? What's that
Yeah.
restaurant?
It used to be a brewery, like Trug's Brewery or something used to be in there. There's
Oh.
railroad tracks right there.
Dodge City?
Dodge.
Dodge City is across from Dodge City.
Yeah, that's it.
That's exactly where it is.
I've seen that place. I've been telling Warren, I want to go check that place out for some
Yeah,
reason.
Cameron and Paxton.
Yes, that's exactly where it is. See, I drive there all the time and I don't pay attention.
See, I always assume that place took, like when there's an old house and they take all the parts of that house and they sell parts there.
Well, they do that, but they have other stuff too. Because I've been to the one in Chambersburg and I've seen power chairs and I've told them you need to keep that battery charged or it's not gonna move.
Interesting. Oh, okay.
So,
Now we gotta go, honey.
Yeah.
so I always refer people there with the steer lifts. And then when you get a steer lift, you have to know, is it going on the left-hand side or the right-hand side from the when you look from the bottom up? Because they're not usually interchangeable.
Okay.
So you have to know which side it's going to go on. And you have to have an outlet either at the top of the stairs or the bottom of the stairs. And if you're in Harrisburg City, you need a building permit to put that outlet in.
Hmm.
These are the things we have learned.
Ah, interesting.
But we tell people, call your Habitat Restore and see if they will take the stair glide because we can't take it. And they take donations. And then when people call, we can say, check with Habitat Restore, see if they have any.
Okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
Did anybody see Gil's video? Did you ever see it, Gil? On the website? In your fishing outfit?
You're on the website.
I-
I saw it.
I'm honored.
You saw it?
He's a poster boy.
Yeah, you just scroll down. Everybody can look at it. Just scroll down. Pretty,
Pin up.
pretty funny.
Just a
Pin
good
up on the
little boy out of the creek.
Does anybody have any more questions?
No, I'm
Nothing?
definitely gonna check your website out and all the other stuff you've got, because you have a lot of good links and resources connected to your website to other things I saw.
We do our best.
Yeah, very interesting.
You have anything else to add to your talk, Jackie?
Mm,
There's a question. Down here in the corner, there I see a hand go up.
That Laura?
Just
Laura?
a
Yeah.
thank you. Just a thank you. Thank you.
Oh,
Anybody else?
no.
Okay. Well,
It would
thanks
be
for-
interesting though, Jackie, if you did, I'm just wondering if you'd be interested in doing like a podcast. If we would submit you questions first so that you would know what to answer on it, because what you're offering is really good locally here in this area. And I bet you there's a lot of people that have no idea that you're even around.
Mhm.
We do mailings all the time, but it's amazing how many people don't know.
Yeah. I'm surprised. Okay.
And what I'll do is I'll give you a call, Jackie, and see about just doing maybe a half-hour podcast.
Okay,
That way you can tell her ahead of time what you're gonna ask, and then that way she'll know, because you get a lot of you get people listening to your podcast, honey, and I think it would really be good for that.
Especially with the UPS, because they don't have to be in the area. Or is there a restriction in the area,
What do you mean?
Jackie?
what's the question? I'm not sure I understand the question.
Let's say we have somebody in Idaho that's listened to this and they want to use that lending library.
So the lending library is for PA residents only, and the
Okay.
TDDP, the free phone program is Pennsylvania residents only.
Okay, so just Pennsylvania. Okay.
It still
Yes.
gives them an idea to find out if there's one in their state.
Right. So just
Right.
let them know.
By listening to it, it just pops up, hey, I'm wondering if we
Right.
have it in our state.
Right, and every state should have a Tech Act program. And there is a website that you can go to find out other places that do recycling like we do.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's national, so they could go on and look. So I've looked up things for my uncle who lives in Binghamton already.
Okay.
Jackie, what did you just call that? A tech app?
The Tech Act, ACT, it's the Technology Act of like 1991. But every state should have a Tech Act program, a technology program somewhere.
Okay.
And we could just search on those keywords.
I don't know, let me look.
Yeah, I'm wondering.
Pardon me if I blocked you.
No, it's okay. I'm
Um,
wondering too. Tech Act.
Jackie, what is your last name?
My last name is Wardle, W-A-R-D-L-E.
Thank you.
Yeah. The Tech Act was formed in 2004. Ah. Yeah, there is information on that, Gil.
Yep. I'm on ataporg.org. ATAP. They have a bunch of stuff, but they have the whole Tech Act of 2004. I started
Yeah.
before that, the original Tech Act program.
Interesting.
Okay. So thanks for showing up, Jackie.
Sure.
And
Yeah, good information. I knew
yeah,
about
and I'll
this.
contact you sometime the end of this week, beginning of next week.
Yeah, the end of this week is tomorrow.
Maybe next week.
Yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll look up some stuff, honey, and then maybe we can put together some questions. So
Yeah.
that way when you have her on a podcast, there'll be certain things. If you guys think of anything that you want to ask her that for the podcast or anything, just email Warren. But I'm definitely going to do some research on some of the stuff that you were talking about, and the Tech Act too.
Mhm.
That's interesting.
Jackie, it's just wonderful that there's people that are so generous in this world. I really, it's encouraging. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. I used to say we work for hugs, but we can't do that anymore, so we just work.
Elbows.
Pretty much.
Okay. So yeah, that's good. Hmm.
Does anybody else have any questions?
No, I
Okay.
don't. Now I want to go to that store and look it up, though. I want to see what's in that warehouse.
You're gonna have to mask up and go and take a trip.
Oh, I don't mind masking up. That's fine. And just find out what time they open up because I like going early in the morning when there aren't people.
They have a website,
Yeah. What's it called? What would be? the-
Habitat for Humanity. If you go to Habitat for Humanity and look up their restore.
Okay. Restore. Okay, I will do that.
Okay.
All righty.
So nobody has anything else to say. We'll just wrap it up here. It's a little less than 15 minutes left.
Diana, would you,
Yeah.
you stay online? I have a technical question after we.
Okay,
close the meeting, please.
all righty.
Jackie, you're okay to go? You have
I'm
nothing else?
good.
All
Okay.
right, Jackie, it was
All right,
nice
thanks.
meeting you. Great
Thanks for having
information.
me.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Smiling.
Anybody-
What you got? What are you laughing at, Gil?
Well, I said we're all smiling. You know, we're all sitting there here deadpan because of our damn affliction.
Your affliction.
Like Kurt, can you smile? I think I had you smile once before. Come on. Oh,
There
man.
it is.
Smile
there
all the
it is.
time.
That's a Parkinson mask.
Arlene, I know you smile. Let's
Yeah.
see a smile.
Let's see the smile.
Every once in a while.
I think I make you smile a lot, don't I, Warren?
Yeah.
I don't make you upset all the time. You smile sometimes.
One day, let's see a smile.
Look at his smile.
There was a little snort in there.
We'll try to get your video.
Okay, so that's our physical therapy for the day.
That was it.
There you go.
Oh, my goodness. So what do you want to ask, Gil, or did you want to ask me personally? Oh, no, I can't.
And I want to do a search on some of the information that was there. Can I somehow leave the meeting without closing it out? Can I just do a control, alt tab?
I think you can just open up another tab if you're on your computer.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me try it.
I think you can just open up a clean tab.
Okay, do you hear me now?
Yeah, we can still hear you.
Okay, I'm going to another screen. And
Yeah,
then I can share that by going to share screen. Or can only the leader do that? Let's see.
Warren can give you, I think Warren can give you permission
Yeah,
to
I can
share
open- I'll
this.
open
That says, right now it says host disabled, participant screen
I'll get it right.
sharing. Warren, you got some power there.
here.
Yeah, he likes that.
Get it here.
There's your mom. She got her phone call. She got her. We can eavesdrop.
Arlene,
Yeah, everybody got it.
Yeah,
how do you keep your hair short?
I just got it cut this morning.
Did you go out to get it cut?
Yes,
I didn't know. Daryl
Yeah.
called.
I go to a girl that she's pretty much by herself.
I said, I can't call. And so,
So, you know, we've been going, I've had her for the last couple of years. She's the daughter of a friend.
on my cell phone,
So she just cut it this morning.
5:30.
Okay, you could share now.
Oh, now you can share, Gil. Experiment. Let's see what happens.
Hey, I got a very important thing to mention, if it hasn't been already, and that is that these food stores, selected stores are offering the shots now.
In the
Really?
in the pharmacies.
You have to be 65 and up, don't you, Gil?
Correct.
No, I don't qualify, neither does Warren.
Yeah, I know.
But we're not old enough, honey, unless we start looking old and then they won't ask us for our ID.
Right.
Look all raggedy and go.
I said.
Gil, where did you say they're offering it?
These foods, just go to their website and select pharmacy services.
been at the
And they'll show
What website, Gil?
East, WEIS, Whiskey, India, Sierra. No, that ain't right. Whiskey, India, Echo, no, Apple, WEIS. It's a supermarket in
Oh,
the area.
Wise. You're talking about
Wise.
Wise Market. You're talking about Wise Market where Mel liked that ice cream.
Yeah.
That forever will remind me of Mel.
That's right. That
To
is
go
right.
get ice cream there. And if I go there and have ice cream, I will seriously think of Mel Oni.
I think we ought to go there after this.
I
Yeah.
say too, and have a scoop of ice cream on Mel.
Two for two.
2 for
So there's selected stores in the area that are offering them, but when I tried to sign up today, they said they were filled for the day or something like that. So
yeah.
that's probably the way it's going to be, but at least you know you should try if you're interested.
I know you got to be careful. My 2 friends, they filled out a form online and they didn't ask them their age and went there. And apparently Larry got the shot, honey, probably because he looked old. And they asked Albino his age and they said, no, you're not 65. But they gave it to Larry, so he must have looked old because
I
they didn't
see.
even ask him for his age. So. And we don't qualify. We're going to be waiting till the end, I think.